All right, shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel. You Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations, scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praises to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who led me to this truth and been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord, wouldn't we be part of that number? Lord, wouldn't this be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities? His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, it is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 2. The water for anybody coming in on the comment board, you sincere believers in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahsham, Yahawashi, Barak, Atham, name of the Heavenly Father. His true name is Yahawah, who everybody ignorantly calls God in the ancient Hebrew. Bahasham means in the name of. Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel from the tribe of Judah, a so-called Negro who was slain at the foundations of the earth for the salvation of the elect on this side and 2/3 after they're destroyed. So Lord, wouldn't this edify to the flock? This is a lesson that I'm doing a land back on from our elder. And he went over some things dealing with, this topic that I'm finna go over. And, let me put this over here. And we're going to get into this. And the title is The Prophets, are the true weathermen in the case of the white rabbit. Dissociation, part 1. So we're going to go into, you got Easter, you got all these different things that go into this white rabbit, and we're going to tie this in to some prophecy, and we're going to show you that this stuff goes back to idol worship in Egypt. Okay, and also in Rome, to show you that this place, is basically like the new, this is the new Rome, the revived Roman Empire. That's where we're at. So we're going to get into this, and the first thing I want to start is, going into this movie called The Weatherman that was made in 2005. So let me see. All right. Anyways, we're going to get into this. Lord willing, set a fine to the flock. Get over here. I'm going to put this in. Maybe play a little bit better if we don't have it full screen. Let me do a full screen. So we're going to get to this, break this down. We're going to go a little bit into this. I'm going to pause it and kind of filter in the scriptures through this thing. So give me a second. All right. So you see it, right? So we're going to do something real quick. We're going to tap into this.
This wind system will keep pushing colder air across the Midwest. Our Sprit Sniffer of the week, just 24.
I don't like his face.
I like him. He's handsome.
My job's very easy. 2 hours a day, basically reading prompts.
Hey, weatherman!
See that? So he's a weatherman. And, you had these old people talking about, I like his face, I don't. He's doing the work, but everybody else is like criticizing him and saying, I don't like this about him, I like this about him. And you got this dude done threw a drink at the dude.
Every couple months, someone...
See, he got the dude throwing shit at this motherfucker. And he's just a weatherman.
throws something at me. I receive a large reward for pretty much zero effort and contribution. The shakes and stuff are a reaction to that, I think.
Why would someone throw a shake at you? You just read the weather.
See, why would somebody throw a shake at you? Why would somebody be pissed off at you when you just do the weather? And that's basically how the prophets are. You know, we're the weathermen of the Lord, and we're showing you there's judgment coming. Basically, we're weathermen. We're giving you the forecast of judgment coming upon the earth, you know, and, you know, we're hated because of that. Like, people despise us or think that we're weird because we're warning you, you know. But, you know, if you have that feeling that you're weirded out, we're warning you, then more than likely you're one of those same people who's came back, you know, from the flood. One of those wicked people just thought just like the flood the same way, because the reason why they didn't think when Noah was telling, you know, and really Noah wasn't telling nobody that the flood was coming. They tried to say that. Really, Noah wasn't really telling nobody, because when you look in the scriptures, the whole righteous seed, you know, had passed before the flood came. The wicked were destroyed by the flood. Because you look up Methuselah, he was the oldest Israelite, okay? And he lived 969 years old when you read in Genesis. And Noah was his grandson, okay? Because after that, you had Lamech, which was Methuselah's son, and that was Noah's father. And Noah, in the 600th year, you know, he went through the flood, and that was the year that Methuselah died. And it said that he was the oldest Israelite out of all the righteous Israelites. So that means that the righteous didn't go through the flood. They just died, you know. So the Noah really wasn't warning the wicked, because he knew that that was all that was there. But when, you know, they came and questioned him about what he was doing, he was like, there's a flood coming, and it's going to rain 40 days and 40 nights. He was telling them. And, you know, they were all like, yeah, whatever. You know, they were making fun of him and stuff, because when you look in Genesis, it talks about how only dew came upon the earth. There had never been rain before the flood. So whenever they were asking him, and he was telling them, they was thinking it was a joke. Just like today, when we say America Babylon the Great is going to get hit with 200 million intercontinental ballistic missiles, nobody's ever seen that before. So they think it's a joke. Like, oh, that can't happen. That'll never happen. And it's the same story. So we're going to get into some precepts, a few of them. We're going to start with Galatians. Because one thing about Jake has always had that that salt, that flavor, and that's what we're coming back to. We're coming back to, our flavor, because we lost that. We lost our sense of flavor to what life really means and to what it means to be an Israelite. We lost that, but we coming back to that because Jake always been, he always been, in a sense of, what's the word I would say, just unique. We're not like any other nation. That's why you see everybody want to be like Jake. Everybody want to be, the one who has to know how to dance the best, the basketball or whatever. And that's the least of Jake. That's the worst of Jake, really, And you're going to find out in the end that Jake is way more capable than just being a rapper or a basketball player, or a beat maker or whatever. This is the lowest you're going to ever see us as a people. So this is Colossians chapter 4, verse 1. It says, fellow workers. That's the title of this section. It says, masters, give unto your servants that which is just and equal, knowing that ye also have a master in heaven, right? We're about being equal to other Israelites, but not every Israelite is equal. What it means by equal is like, everybody has a position, but it makes one body, it makes an equation, a full body, of Israelites, who are the tabernacle of King David, So, that's why the Lord is telling the masters of us, the elders, to give unto us what's equal to our part in this truth, our orders, because we all have orders, even the ones like me. I'm just a follower, a great millstone, but I still have orders, You have to even have orders, even if you're a follower, but it's through the Spirit. They're not going to just tell you. You just got to know. So knowing that ye also have a master in heaven. Verse 2, continue in prayer, and watch in the same with thanksgiving. Verse 3, withdraw withal, praying also for us, that the Most High, which is Yahawah, will open unto us a door of utterance and speak the mystery of Hamashiach. And in the Bible, it says Christ, but Hamashiach means the anointed one, like anointed. In the ancient Hebrew, is Hamashiach. Okay, for which I am also in bonds, and Hamashiach, the anointed one, is Yahawashi, who everybody calls Jesus Christ, right? That I may make it manifest as I ought to speak. Verse 5, walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. See, so we're supposed to be looking for Israelites who are looking for the way, because if you're an Israelite, you've really been searching for this truth your whole life. And you tried it by going to the church. You tried it by going to, doing other things, going maybe Buddhist. You was looking for this truth, And that's why the Lord told the people with wisdom to what? Go around and walk toward them that are without. That's why he's telling us to do that, redeeming the time. Because we know that the elect can only be saved if the time is shortened. So we gotta move. We got to be out here pushing this work. So this says This goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Jake always had that flavor, you know. We're very unique people. We're not like everybody else. So verse 6, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Right. So we're gonna go in the Strong's, the concordance, and we're gonna look up a couple words. We're gonna look up this word grace. Right. This video might be a little long, it's by the Spirit. I'm gonna try to make it quick. I just want to touch a couple of things, and then we're gonna get into it.
Strong's G 5485. Charis.
That's how you say it. It's probably in the Greek, right? And it says grace, that which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness, grace of speech, goodwill, loving kindness, favor, the merciful kindness which by which the Most High, exerting his holy influence upon souls, turns them to Hamashiach, keeps, straightens, increases them in faith, knowledge, affection, and kindles them to the exercise of, and it says Christian virtues, but it's really supposed to say Hamashiachium. Okay, the anointed virtues, anointed, those are those virtues, and we use, our services. This is a service, to Israel. It says down here, gift of grace, benefit, bounty, token or proof of grace, benefit, thanks for benefit, services, favors, recompense, reward. We're going to get a reward for showing you grace, but it has to be seasoned with salt, which means what? What does it mean to be seasoned with salt? Because we come with grace, of course, which means what? You got a time period to understand that we're trying to bind you into the marriage of Yahawashi before you get destroyed. That's what it's talking about. Okay, because we know J's wasn't invented until 1524. So we know his name's not Jesus. And it talked about how, they spoke in the Hebrew tongue. They got a whole book called Hebrews. They didn't speak in English 2,000 years ago. And it says Malachi 3 verse 6, the Lord doesn't change. So he's not going to change his name, man. And this is what salt means too. Unchanging. I'm going to show that. So seasoned with salt, right? Going to hit the Strong's definition.
Strong's G 217. Halas.
Just for y'all who think that I'm just on some random ass page on my other little thing, I'm over here on the concordance. So it says outline of biblical usage. Salt, which with foods is seasoned and sacrifices are sprinkled, right? Then it says those kinds of saline matter used to fertilize arable land, right? And then it says salt is a symbol of lasting concord because it protects food from purification, right? Or putrefaction, yeah, and preserves it unchanged. You see? So we're giving you grace and we're telling you things about the scriptures, but it's unchanged. Okay, that's what it means in the spirit. Like we're giving you the right breakdown. We might be talking about something that, different topics, but it's still the same breakdown. It's got that seasoning on it. It's the right amount of seasoning, that right interpretation, right? Preserves unchanged accordingly in the solemn ratification of compacts. This is a practice that continues to this day in some cultures, partaking of salt together. Wisdom and grace exhibited in speech. See? Prudence, salt. That's what it's talking about. It's not talking about like actual salt. Okay? talking about like in the spirit. Like we got that flavor. We have that way of explaining things because the scriptures was meant for the elect of Israel. And we pray to be of that number, because we understand it. But you're not let alone have to understand it. You have to endure to the end, as it says in Matthew. So after getting some of that taken care of, we're going to deal with this thing concerning, still talking about the weatherman. This is John chapter 6, verse 63. Because you see how the dude, he throws all that trash and stuff at him, right? And all he's doing is literally giving the weather, and that's what we're doing. We're giving you the weather, basically. Okay, we're telling you what's going on. This is John chapter 6, verse 63. Because you can just read the Bible if you want to, but you have to have the Spirit. You have to have the Rawchaa, Qadash. You have to have the Holy Spirit to be able to understand what it's saying. And and our elders and apostles, they're the ones who received this Spirit first. So we listen to them, and they show us how to use the Spirit, how to become one with it. So this is John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, and it talked about how Adam was a living soul, and in the end, he was a quickening spirit, the Alpha and the Omega. That's talking about Yahawashi, because that's what Yahawashi said. Everybody ignorantly called Jesus. He said, "I'm the Alpha and the Omega." That's why I said Adam was a quickening, was a living soul, and then a quickening spirit. We'll pull that up next. John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth; the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Right? Verse 64. And it says, but there are some of you that believe not. Right? So even though we're coming out and we're giving you the forecast of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, we're telling you about judgment. We're telling you what's going to happen. There's some of you that believe not. And that's Yahawashi speaking itself. So we don't worry about who's not going to believe. We know there's not going to be people that are not going to believe. For Yahawashi knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him. You see? So that's why we don't worry about all that. He already knows who's going to betray him. We want to make sure that we in, good standing with the Lord. So let me pull up what I said I was going to pull up. All right. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45. And any time in the scriptures where it says it is written, it's talking about it was written in the Old Testament too, to tie it in, to bring it together. So 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. But wait, there was never no Adam that came in, any other time in the Bible. It's talking about Yahawashi, who everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's why he said, I'm the first and the last. I'm the Alpha and the Omega. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about him, and that's that quickening spirit that's came upon us to understand this doctrine. That's what it's saying. So now we're going to go to Job chapter 12, verse 16. We weathermen, right? We weathermen, right? And what are we telling you? We're telling you that these people who keep telling you that the Lord doesn't control Satan, because they try to tell you in the churches that Satan just does whatever the fuck he wants to do. No, he doesn't. The Lord already knew. If he already knew, like I said, he knew who was going to deceive him from the beginning, right? So that means that he was in control of them too. How could he know if he didn't already know what they was going to do? This is Job chapter 12, verse 17. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. That's Job 12, 16. The deceived and the deceivers are his. See? Right there. That's real. That's how the Bible's supposed to be taught. The Lord's in control of everything. Okay? So there's a chosen, there's a not chosen. Proverbs. We're going to get into a lesson in a second. We're going to get into another. This is basically a land back from what my elder was talking about earlier. And I want to go into it. So I want to pull up a couple precepts first. This is Proverbs chapter 26. Chapter 26, verse 16. And it reads, let me make sure that's right. That's not what I want. I want to do, before I do that, I want to do this first. I want to do, because we see how it said the deceived and the deceivers are his, right? And it says that he does this as well. This is what he does. This is Proverbs chapter 26, verse 10. This is how we know that just because you making the bag, just because you got the money, don't mean the Lord's on your side, you know? And this is to show that some people, he's got you making that bag out there, but he's got you in a trick bag. This is Proverbs chapter 26, verse 10. And it reads, the great power, which is Yahawah, that formed all things, both rewardeth the fool and rewardeth transgressors. Who's the fool? Esau, even so-called white man, the other 16 nations, okay, who follow whatever he does. And the transgressors are 2/3 of our people, okay, 2/3 of Israel who basically believe in this system. Okay, that's what it's talking about. He reward them too, but they get the reward of unrighteousness. And what does it say? It said, it said the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, Job 9:24. You know, and it also says, let favor be shown to the wicked. Let's show that real quick. Let's show that one. But it's only for a certain amount of time. And we're going to get, you know, once we get past this, we're going to get into this whole white rabbit thing, because they've got it planned through all types of American classics to show you that these people worship Egypt and Rome, man. They did basically to revive Roman Empire and spiritually Sodom and Egypt. As it says in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. It's Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. And it reads, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. See, they don't want to behold Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You know, they don't want to do that. So we're going to go from here to Matthew 10:22. And it reads, and ye shall be hated of all men. This Yahawashi speaking. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. You see? But he that endureth to the end shall be saved. So you have to endure and stay in this doctrine, and you have to keep doing the work. If you're a man, the woman's, y'all not supposed to be teaching. You're supposed to be, finding the man of the Lord and serving him, or just serving the brotherhood, or getting yourself prepared, That's your job. But that's why a lot of women don't want to do it. But you're going to wish you did. This is Matthew. Chapter 10. No, Matthew chapter 16, verse 2. And it reads, and he answered and said unto them, right? Because we weathermen, right? We the true weathermen. We're telling you a forecast of judgment coming. We're telling you a forecast of prophecy, right? Motherfuckers throwing drinks at us. They're saying, fuck you. They're like, we don't want y'all teach us soft things. Don't teach us no real ass shit, Jake. Don't put no seasoning on it. We want our shit bland like Esau Edom. We want our chicken with no salt on it. Matthew chapter 16, verse 2. And he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, right? Verse 3, and in the morning, it's Yahawashi speaking, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, can ye discern the face of the sky? Right? You can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times, right? But the spiritual weatherman can. We can discern the signs and the times. We know we're coming into a time which is called Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Okay, it's going to be the most horrible time ever on the planet. That's never happened before. I'm talking about real judgment coming on the earth, and everybody's going to get tried to see who is of the elect. So it's the last precept before we get into a little video. Last little precept, Habakkuk. Because my elder made some good points. And I want to go into this thing concerning this rabbit. So Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. First, we're going to start right here to show you that we're supposed to be weathermen. We're supposed to be standing on our tower, which is what it looks like. This is the tower. It looks like you on the computer doing shit for the Lord. Okay? And you're teaching. That's what it looks like. We're not here to, for anything else. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. And it reads, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say to me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. See, we all had to be reproved. We all had to be corrected when we came into this truth. We all had to be put on the right path. Verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. See, and this is us doing it. We're making it plain upon tables. We're taking things and we're putting them and tying them into certain articles, tying it into certain history to show you that this is plain, okay, to show you these prophecies are plain. But, only the elect are going to see and believe that and keep that in their heart and follow that to the end. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? Verse 3, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, which means, you're thinking it's tarrying, and it's only tarrying because the Lord's trying to give you, whoever's supposed to come to repentance more time and get their shit right. So though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, man. And that's what we're seeing today. It's not tarrying, man. It's finna carry out. So we're going to watch a little bit of this video from my elder. And he points out some things. And we're going to go into some things, concerning this case of the white rabbit, which means disassociation. Disassociation means We're going to look up that word first. I got it over here already pulled up. Because there's two different types of disassociation. One of them, is what Israel's doing. And then you got another type of disassociation that everybody else is doing. You got people, well, let's read it.
Dissociation.
Right? A disconnection or separation of something, right, from something else, or the state of being disconnected, right? That's what I'm saying. Separation of some aspects of mental functioning from conscious awareness, right? Leading into a degree of mental dysfunction or mental conditions, concluding dissociative identity disorder, right? But the first one is really the one we want to deal with. We're disassociating ourselves from this Western mindset of, thinking you only live once, thinking, the churches is the right way to be, or thinking that women are on top or women are equal. We're not equal, and that's the problem. Like, women think we equal and we're not. And you're going to find out real soon why. It said the Lord made men upright. And ever since women been running the world and everything been about women and feminism, all you got is a whole bunch of women on OnlyFans twerking their ass and not doing shit for society, man. And they feel like they somebody important because you got, some woman, got a little bit of money from somebody who actually got a profession or got a skill, you see? And they think they something and they not, But this is from Big Bro. Shalom, Big Bro. Yahawashi, Barak, the water for tuning in. I'm gonna read this precept. And it reads, this is Shapah of the 12, Bah. You should go subscribe to him if you haven't, and he's got a lot of edifying videos. I watch a lot of his stuff. So it's Jeremiah 6, verse 16. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahawashi, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. See, we coming back to these old paths of understanding how the Lord actually works and how he does things. We lost those ways. Where is the good way? And walk therein. Ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, what did 2/3 of our people say? We will not walk therein. That's what they said. They said, we not walk therein. They won't. They don't want to walk therein. They don't want to walk in that path, and that's what's going to get them judged, because they're not listening to what? The forecast of judgment. That's what we're giving you, a forecast of judgment. We're the real weathermen, This is Psalm chapter 82, verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. See, they won't understand, The wicked are not going to understand, and neither 2/3 of our people. They walk on in darkness, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. And that's why you got these women making this bag, making this money, and don't got no profession, nothing. Just come over here on one of these platforms and twerk their ass, and they pay their rent and everything, man. And that's out of course, man. That's out of course, and they think they somebody because of that. So the water for your precepts, Big Bro. Yahawashi. So this is a video my elder did earlier, and I really liked this video. It was pretty edifying. We're gonna just listen to a little bit of it, and we're gonna get into it concerning this white rabbit ideology and show that it goes back to Egypt and Rome. Okay. But it's going to tie in with this lesson talking about, he said, what would I have to do to become a Christian? Okay. And it's kind of like verbatim. It's kind of like showing you like that the churches is going off. Okay. So we're going to watch a little bit of this, and then we're going to get into, some precepts and show you some ideologies and different things tying this white rabbit with a lot of American classics, and also Egypt and Rome. So Lord willing, set a fine to the flock. We'll go ahead and play this, and let's see what my elder is talking about.
All right, Israel, let's keep rolling with the videos. You know, I'm gonna call this "If I Join the Christian Church." If I join Christianity. Now, a lot of people, they start when they want to search something, they don't go rolling in their card no more. It's all online. So I said, well, let me Google Christian church. I'm trying to join. And then the first thing pops up is this: find more purposes, more friends, and more of God's love at church. I said, all right. I mean, if I'm ignorant, if I'm just empty-minded about what Christianity is, and then here's all Christian denominations explained in 12 minutes. You got the Anglican Church, you got the Lutheran Church, you got the Coptic Church, the Pentecostal, Catholic, Orthodox Baptist, Presbyterian, Methodist. And then, and we know in the truth that these are all different practices, man. Most High said he's of one body, one spirit, one mind, one accord. And there's rebuke there's supposed to be rebuke in the church. Church is another word for ecclesiastes, which means called out, to call out. So it doesn't mean a building that's made out of, brick or what have you, or some room with someone, some building with somebody teaching. You go here. It's nice to, there you go. Then you say, well, here's a Global Vision Bible Church Live. Contain this Friday night service, but I don't like to be around that many people. I'm just new. I'm just coming in. I just want to start, at a small church. And most of the churches on YouTube and what have you are mega churches, and that's where they get their profit from, by advertising their mega church, to the public, to where they can bring more money in. And these are nonprofit organizations. I'm pretty sure all churches are nonprofit organizations. Covenant Vigil, that looks like a lot of people there too. I don't want to go there. And then you got Christian Loft Radio. We're not talking about that. We're talking about joining an actual church. Boom! There you go. Church member said, T-Day, you like, what the hell is this? And then you go even further. Says church member says TD Jake scandal was worse than you can imagine. It's 72,000 views. We don't go no views, but we're saying we're making a point about what's online and what's viewed and how people perceive things. And wait a minute. And you be like, damn, I know that rapper, and he's in a scandal. As now, if I wanted to join that church is in a scandal concerning these rappers, like it, and there's Mace. Everybody knows the hip hop world. Pretty much so-called black people that's in the black culture. They know. I'm gonna read this and scroll on because I don't want to see these damn devils, man. Mace confirmed CD Jake expelled from church after this. Mace confirms TD Jakes expelled from church after this happened. And then when you go to his church, it's pretty much empty. So then there's another scandal. Tyler Perry reacts to Christian Key's acute accusations of sexual assault. And you'd be like, damn, wait a minute, Christian churches now versus then. You got and then you get to the point where you don't even want to I thought church was a good idea.
It's not.
Praise break. You got history, and the history and all that. So, because most black people, I mean, if you just starting off in church, you're probably trying to find a so-called black church. You want to be around your own people. But the first thing that really pops up around people is scandals in the church. You know, and Most High called them harlot houses. Now, these people, these Christians that come against us, the truth, you know, like apostles always say, they mainly target one West, and you know those ones that still doing the work, because those ones that's not, they you know, nobody knows about them, and every now and then they pop up, you know, but they go back into, you know, the darkness, and they never came out of the darkness really. But they act like we've never been to church before, man. We know what church you do in church. And we know when you get there, you sit in the pew at first, you know, and then you start to get to know people, but you start doing this worldly ass shit, man. You know, and then you start the Easter egg hunting, you know, with children and what do you call it, the Easter, you know, Easter day and all that.
Yeah.
But it ain't got nothing to do with, you know, the Son of God, the true Son of God.
Nothing to
You're up
do.
there looking, you know, eating, feasting, and you know, not even learning anything, but running around and feasting, looking for damn eggs, and hopefully you got money in there, some sort of, you know, little something, you know, that enthuse the kids, that the kids get excited about. So you know, that it kind of reminds me of these churches that's getting caught with child trafficking.
Okay. So this is the video. Okay, what, you know, if you want to go subscribe and go watch it, he's got edifying videos. What would I have to do to become a Christian, right? And then this is also Shapar the 12 Bob right here. You know, you want to go look at his channel too. He's got a lot of edifying videos over here. Okay. I'll probably put them in the comment board later. You know, I always like sharing the brothers' videos. They always, you know, they show you different perspectives on what we're dealing with. Okay. But you see, he started talking about Easter, right? This white rabbit. Okay. We're going to start diving into that. But this is the video you want to go fully watch and get fully edified. We're going to read these scriptures from the big bro. This is Shapar the 12 Ba, Isaiah 60 verse 1, arise and shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. And how do we know that the glory of the Lord is risen upon us? Because we have this truth. Okay, that's a good way to know someone is tied in with the Lord. You know, it's to see that they have that belly of living water, those rivers of living water coming out of them, that doctrine. You know, one doctrine. You know, verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. You know, and that's how it is with Jake. Jake has this type of flavor, you know, this salt, you know, that can't be ignored by, you know, someone who's truly a spiritual Israelite. Like, you can't ignore this truth. And that's how it was for us. We couldn't ignore this truth. As soon as we seen it and came across this, I was like, damn, man, Jake out there doing that. We was on it, you know? So I want to tie this in to, you know, this thing talking about this white rabbit he was going into. And we sat down in the spirit and we kind of brainstormed over a bunch of different things that America Babylon the Great classics that tie into this white rabbit. Okay, so we're going to go into this and we're going to pull up a couple different things. And we're going to start right here. And we're not going to go too deep into them because it's a lot of them, just to show you how many of them there are. So you got Alice in Wonderland, right? You had one in 1972. Right? You had one in 1981. You had one in 1985. And a lot of stuff happened in 1985, to be honest. You know, a lot of different stuff. 1992, you know, that was actually the year I was born. You know, as we move on, just all these different times they kept, you know, gradually keep putting this damn white rabbit, you know, in front of your face throughout your lifestyle, your lifespan. 1996, okay, and Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Okay, there's rabbits in a lot of different movies. 2001 and Mickey's Magical Christmas. Okay, this motherfucker was everywhere. Okay. You got the House of Mouse 2001 and so forth. So these are just to show you that throughout history, they've been putting this damn rabbit. See, it's called the White Rabbit Evolution of Alice in Wonderland. That's the whole thing. It's 4 minutes and it just got straight all these different shows they had that had this white rabbit concept in it until it got to, you know, 2013, 2014. You know, it got later on in history to where, you know, they followed this for, you know, decades. Okay. See what I'm saying? 2021, all the way up to The Simpsons and plus adversary or something. But there you go right there. He in the little corner. See? And it was also in this movie, right? Try to make you see better. It's also in this movie called Us. Okay. And this movie is like a scary movie. I ain't gonna try to like put it out there, nothing like spoil it for anybody who wants to go watch it, who hasn't watched it yet. But it's called Us. And look what's in the beginning of it. See? It's a bunch of fucking rabbits. Throughout all these movies, throughout the time we've been here in America, Babylon the Great, all the ones that are like, you know, and this dude was on the Key and Peele show or whatever. And he also made The Sunken Place. Okay. And basically America, Babylon the Great is a sunken place for Jake. This is the sunken place for us, man. We're in captivity here. You know? This evil ass, wicked, scary ass music. That's the life of Jake, man. Caged up, boxed up, man. You know? You go into this movie, it like it actually gets pretty fucked off. So I'm gonna pause it because I don't want to be too dramatic with it. But as you get down, it's a whole bunch of fucking rabbits in this bitch. Okay, it's mainly white rabbits. It's got a couple of them that's black, but it's white rabbits. It goes back to a type of worship that I'm gonna show. Then you got in the Matrix. Remember the movie The Matrix? What do he tell Neo to do? What do he tell him to do? Follow the white rabbit. See? We'll play this short scene. You're getting there. You know, we all seen this, most of us. I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit.
$2,000. Hold up.
Yep. We're gonna go in there. You're gonna go get their little shit.
Right. Something wrong, man? You look a little whiter than usual.
My computer. You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
All the time. It's called mescaline. It's the only way to fly. Hey, look, it just sounds to me like, you need to unplug, man. Get some R&R? What do you think, du jour? Should we take him with us?
Definitely.
I can't. I have work tomorrow.
Come on. It'll be fun. I promise.
You see on his computer it said follow the white rabbit, and there it go right there. You see? And he goes to the bar and he meets Trinity. You know, we've all seen The Matrix. You see? So like this is just like something else to show that they're putting this in a lot of American classics. They're putting this in it's because it's showing you what they worship. We're gonna pull that up right now. So it says right here, the ancient origins of the Easter Bunny that my elder was talking about, right? The Easter Bunny, right? And it says the scholar traces the folk figure's history from the Neolithic era to today. Okay, so I want to get to the point down here. It says over 1,000 years later, during the Iron Age, ritual burials for hares were common. And in 51 BCE, who? Julius Caesar. Who Julius Caesar? The Romans, right? Esau, Edom, so-called white man, the Romans mentioned that in Britain, hares were not eaten due to their religious significance. Now, when you look up that word like disassociate, right? What we talked about earlier, that disassociate, well, we disassociate ourselves from this modern understanding of religious significance. You know, we're going away from that because they think that, you know, these rabbits are just so fucking, you know, mystical creatures. In the scriptures, it talks about their damn rodents. We're not supposed to even eat them. You know, and Leviticus chapter 11, it talks about the things with the hooves and the cubs on them, and they eat the cud. That we're not supposed to eat that shit. And that's the rabbit. A rabbit is a type of rodent. That's why you see it in some of the Mickey Mouse shows. The rabbit was there. Okay, this goes back, you know, all the way to Rome, man, all the way back there. You see. So I wanted to just point that out. It goes back to Rome. They was talking about this religious type of significance towards bunnies. Okay, don't lay eggs. It has nothing to do with that. It's an idol worship. And in Egypt, it goes back to this this statue right here. Okay, called a nut. Right? And there's the picture of it. There's a little rabbit right there. See? It all goes back. Symbol, hare. It's talking about a rabbit. And when you read it, it says a nut is, let me go back. Known as the swift one. So a nut is known as the Winut or Winet, as the prehistoric ancient Egyptian hare and snake goddess of fertility and new birth. And what does the rabbit mean today? What does Easter mean today? It's talking about fertility. That's what it goes back to. It goes all the way back to Egypt. That's how we know this place is spiritually what? Sodom in Egypt. You see? All the stuff goes back to back then, you know? It's basically just playing all over again. You know? This was their gods. And that's why we call this the new Egypt spiritually. Because it goes back to them. And that's just like Big Bro was talking about, the earth is waxed with gross darkness. This is what we're talking about. It's idol worship everywhere, you know, in this place. You know? It's idol worship everywhere, you know? So we're gonna show a couple more things. You got the white rabbit. Okay, we showed it was in Egypt. We showed it in there. Now they got a movie that's called The White Rabbit in 2013, and talks about he's been tormented by visions since his alcoholic father forced him to kill an innocent rabbit while hunting as a boy. Now that Harlan is bullied through high school as a high school teen, he diagnosed mental illness. Is diagnosed mental illness is getting worse. He began to hear voices, and his imagination encouraged him to carry out violent acts. And basically, it goes back to that disassociation. They're being disassociated from the truth. You know, talking about him committing one final act of revenge. You know, all this stuff goes back to disassociation. They're like disassociating themselves from the truth, man, and they're going to the wickedness. Okay, while we're disassociating ourselves from wickedness to come to righteousness. You know, and you're on one of the paths. And this is why they have in America Babylon the Great, they have this whole thing about the rabbit foot. You know how they said the rabbit foot was good luck, right? Let me move this a little bit. The rabbit foot was the good luck, right? It said in some cultures, a rabbit foot is carried as an amulet believed to bring good luck. The belief is held by people in a great number of places around the world, including Europe, China, Africa, Australia, and North and South America. Over here in America Babylon the Great. See, this stuff goes back, and it says in variations of this superstition, the rabbit came from must possess certain attributes, such as being killed in a particular place using a particular method or by a person possessing particular attributes, e.g., by a cross-eyed man. Right there, right? Cross-eyed man. You see? So when you go look up over here, the Trix Rabbit, they got this motherfucker cross-eyed holding a bowl of cereal. See, all this shit goes back to these ancient gods that they worship, man. You see? Then you got Bugs Bunny, right? White rabbit, you know? Try to make him look gray. That's a white rabbit. All this shit goes back. Then you got Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And really, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it kind of promotes bestiality because he was like, his wife was an Edomite woman. You know, and he's a fucking rabbit. That's bestiality, man. That's what that is. That's promoting bestiality. That's what that's promoting. Sleeping with animals. Okay? And we know in the scriptures that's going off. Then they had the whole thing about how to pull a rabbit out of a hat, the rabbit hat magic trick thing. See? So those are like a lot of different things. There's many more, but those are the ones that I wanted to pull up, you know, to show that, you know, you got to disassociate yourself from these false idols, man. This Easter, this Christmas, this Happy New Year, all this shit goes back to the worship of Nimrod and many other different false idols that they worship, you know, in Rome and in Egypt. That's why this place is the new revived Roman Empire. That's why we're telling you that, because that's where they're getting that shit from, you know. So we're going to go look up. I only got a little bit of precepts, and then we're getting out of here. This is Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14. Because us as men, Israelite men, we're supposed to be priests. Because back then, the only ones that were priests were the Levites, but now it's different. So we have an obligation to do certain things. And it reads Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which the tribe of Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood, which means what? If you're a Hebrew Israelite man, if you're a man and you know you're an Israelite, your job is to be doing this work. That's your job. You know, we still go to work and stuff too. You know, we have jobs and whatnot. But we still have to do this work. We put this first. And another thing my elder quoted was, you know, Playboy Bunny. See, all this stuff go back to this ancient way how they used to worship these damn rodents. And the Lord was like, don't even breathe on them bitches. Okay, that's the difference between us disassociating and the heathens disassociating. You know? There's a difference because Jake has flavor. We don't just fucking eat anything, you know. We're a royal priesthood of people, you know, starting with the men. You know, you got the princesses who, you know, with the men. And then he told me that back then they used to call the antenna, like the antenna on the TV, they called them rabbit ears to like fix them and shit, you know? So that's another thing to kind of tie that back. So then we're going to look up 1 Corinthians. Going to go to the blue letter. I'm just about done. You know, I usually do about an hour. Blue letter. Okay. Yep. And shalom to everybody on the comment board. Yahawah, Bahsham, Barak, Atham. You know, all you sincere believers in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi out there. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1. And we're going to read it in the NLT too. We're going to read 4 verses. And then we're going to go to Isaiah. Because this is talking about the duties of the Levites. And basically all men, Israelite men, are now, you know, Levites, you know. So hold on. Make sure this is where I wanted to be at. That's not where I was looking for. Hold on. Hold on. I think it's in 2 Corinthians, not 1 Corinthians. It's not the one I wanted either. Hold on. Man, I know I had it. Had it down here. Let me go find it. It's one specific I wanted to put in there. Oh, okay. So it's in 1 Corinthians, but it's verse 19. So it's just down a little bit. So bear with me. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is 2 Corinthians. So I need to go to 1 Corinthians. Yep. And then all right. All right, Salakia. So 1 Corinthians. Wait. It's not there. Where is it at? Just seen it. Let me go look again. I'm just going to pull it up where it was at. That's right. Yeah. I don't know why it's not popping up over there. See, it says chapter 6 over here. That's why it's saying that. I don't know why it said chapter 5 and then go to chapter 6. That's where I need to be at. Because I want to look it up at NLT too. So yeah, lawsuits discouraged. That's where we at. So Salakia, which means, excuse me. Took me a second to go where I wanted to get to. We're going to read it in the NIV and then we're going to read it in the King James Version because we always like reading it in the 1611, which is, basically the King James Version without any vowels. So lawsuits among believers. If any of you has a dispute with another, do you dare to take it before the ungodly for judgment instead of before the Lord's people? Right? Or do you not know that the Lord's people will judge the world? And if you are to judge the world, you are not competent to judge the trivial cases. Do you not know, this is verse 3, do you not know that we will judge angels? How much more things in this life? You see? So this is why, we don't want to have disputes and take these kind of things and try to conversate with, ungodly men, because, they don't have no power in the spirit world. They don't have no power in, the Levitical priesthood. Okay. So I'm going to just read it in the King James Version. And it's just to show you that, this is part of our duties. We're supposed to be judging shit. We're judges. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. Lord willing, we are that number. Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints? See, we're supposed to bring this stuff to the saints, and there's men on the earth that are the saints. And you have the ones that are not. And you have to have the spirit to be able to know which ones are and which aren't. Verse 2, do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? How they going to do that if they're not here? You see, they're judging the world right now. And they're doing it online every day. Starting with the elders and apostles of the great millstone. And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? So we go into stuff like this, like this shit, deal with these fucking bunnies and shit. We go and deal with everything that we can find. It says Psalms 10:15, it says, break down the arm of the wicked and seek out his wickedness till thou find none. Where to look and come point this stuff out to the flock to show them that don't be doing this shit, Don't be doing Easter and all that. That has nothing to do with the Lord. But just like my elder was talking about, if you was just some regular person, you wanted to start going to church, because it's going to be a lot of people coming pretty soon. All this wickedness coming in the earth, a lot of people going to try to get into the straight gate, and they're not going to get in there. They're going to start trying to go to the church. They're going to start calling them their false gods. They're going to start going to the synagogues and praying, and ain't none of that shit going to save your ass. The only name that is going to save you is Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You have to be an Israelite. That's the only way. It's Isaiah chapter 1, verse 23, and then I got two more precepts after that, and then we go. It took me a little longer because I was looking for that precept. It's Isaiah chapter 1, verse 23. And it reads, thy princes are rebellious, or the princes, like the men are rebellious and companions of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts and followeth after reward. See, goes back to that Easter, goes back to Christmas, goes back to all these false idols, that they've turned into holidays. Okay, the same stuff they worshiping back then. They judge not the fatherless, right? Neither doeth the cause of the widow come unto them. And the widow is basically talking about the Israelites, because we were scattered. We were alienated from the Lord. We were cast out of the promised land. So we are those widows. And the fatherless is talking about Esau eating the so-called white man. And 2/3 of our people, they don't judge them. They don't tell them like all the stuff you did, raping, pillaging the land, putting Jacob in slavery, all these type of things, putting Jacob, which is Israel, into slavery, and all these things. They don't want to judge them for that. They just want to just get the bag from them and live comfortable as they can. Verse 24, therefore, saith the Lord Yahawah, Bahsham, Yahawashi, the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversaries and avenge me of mine enemies. And we know this is going to happen. Why? Because this happened to us the first time. That's why I said this book is sweet but bitter. It's bitter because damn, we messed up. But now these curses are being passed on to 2/3 of our people and the rest of the heathens. Verse 25, and I will turn mine hand upon thee, and I will surely purge away thy dross and take away all thy tin. Lord's going to strip these people, man. And I will restore thy judges as at the first. And now he's talking about what? The righteous seed, the tabernacle of King David. He's going to bring them back and bring these judges at the first. And what are they doing? They're judging even the smallest matters on the earth right now. That's what they're doing, and that's how they're gaining what? They're restoring their rightful position as a judge. And there's some judges that the Lord's deal with more than others. You got the top 12 disciples, and then you just got regular disciples like me, and the followers, of the disciples. It's better to be over here than me. It's all Edom, I'll tell you that. And thy counselors at the beginning. See? So that's what he's doing right now. Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. And that's why, the elders and apostles always say that they're a faith-based, heritage. This is not a religion. This is a heritage. Okay, this is our heritage that was stripped from us. And we have faith that we are those men coming back and receiving our heritage, like the Lord said he would give back to us. He would give us the name of the Lord. He would give us the right ways to come back to his righteousness. And it was going to be the ones that were, the ones that are feeble of us are going to be just as strong as David. Okay. And this is what it says right here, Zechariah chapter 12, verse 8. In that day, talking about in the end times, the Lord shall defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And right now he's doing it with what? His judges. He's got them defending Israel, defending the scriptures. That's what he's got them doing. Defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is basically wherever you're at as an Israelite, because we were scattered across the four corners of the earth, as it reads in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, which is Yahawah, and the angel of the Lord before them. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Verse 9, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. So this is how we know, and how you say Jerusalem in the Hebrew is Rawchaa. That's how you would say it. That's how I would say it back then. And the Lord is coming against all of them. That's why you see all this pandemonium and America, Babylon the Great running out of ammo, all this destruction and war going on. It's because the Lord is defending the elect. Okay, and he's making Satan what? Cast out Satan, destroy himself. That's what they're doing right now. That's what we're seeing in the news. So this is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. And this is the last one. This is what's happening right now. Esau, Edom is being exposed. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. What's those? He tried to come out here and say he a so-called white man. In the 1680s, they made that, the so-called white man and the so-called black man. That's when they made that. So though we're uncovering those secret places and showing that he's not, he's not white. He's an Edomite, Idumean, okay, in the Bible. That's what they tried to cover up so you wouldn't think this shit was real. And he's uncovered that with what? His spirit through his men. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors. Who's the neighbors? The other nations who are following him, or the other 16 nations, you got, the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabians, you got Moab, the so-called Chinese, and so forth. Ammonites, the so-called Japanese, but we ain't gonna go into all of them. So, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. What does that mean by saying he is not? He ain't gonna exist no more. It's gonna be undone. He's gonna be destroyed. It's gonna be done away with. Esau, even so-called white man, is the Lord's whooping stick. He ain't nothing else. It's his fly swatter. Once he's get done swatting 2/3 of our people, he's gonna get rid of the fly swatter. After he, puts them into slavery for 1,000 years. With the other nations. That's what's coming for you if you're not Jacob. And we're telling you right now, we're going to tell you as many times as we can because we can't wait because we're trying to go home. So that's a lesson. The water, big bro, for putting the precepts up. Always, it's great to see, my peers come and say Shalawah, because I've been, following in y'all footsteps. Y'all have given us the blueprint. We know, of course, starting with the elders and apostles, great millstone on down to the followers as yourself. And then, as the new brothers like me coming in. So, Lord willing, we endure to the end. Shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel. You Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. Want to give all praises to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, led me to this truth, and been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and so forth, the Lord's righteousness, and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when this be able to find those who fear the name of the Lord and the striving, so forth, the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, it is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, is until a ring. 2 Peter chapter 5, verse 42. Wow, blah, the water for tuning in. Bahsham, Atham. Lord, when there's edifying to the flock. No qualm, Yasharallah. Peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.